You don't have to be a rocket scientist to make a movie, which is why movie rocket science is usually so ridiculously inaccurate. World-renowned theoretical physicist Dr. Michio Kaku joins us live via satellite to point out how well, or poorly as it turns out, test subject George Lucas knows his physics. Welcome, Dr. Kaku.
Glad to be on the show.
Great. Now, are you a fan of genre films? It sounds like you actually like sci-fi fantasy films.
That's right. I'm a closet Trekkie. I've watched the entire Star Wars cycle many times over, in fact.
Great. Well, I'm glad you bring that up. Let's get right to it. Which is more realistic, Star Wars or Star Trek?
Well, I'm a physicist, and we try to rank civilizations in outer space as type 1, 2, or 3. A type 1 civilization would be like Buck Rogers, a planetary civilization that controls the weather, controls volcanoes and earthquakes. Star Trek would be a type 2 civilization that harnesses the power of an entire star. However, in Star Wars, we have a genuine type 3 civilization, a galactic civilization, perhaps 100,000 to 1,000,000 years more advanced than the civilization we see on Star Trek. So in other words, in Star Wars, we're talking about a civilization far beyond anything we can harness on the planet Earth, and we are in a type 0 civilization, by the way.
We're type 0. Hey, thanks a lot. But a lot of people want to know, when am I going to be able to fire up a real lightsaber? I mean, is there any technology that exists that will actually make this even a possibility?
Well, believe it or not, some of the simple things on Star Wars, like force fields and lightsabers, are actually quite difficult to create. However, we physicists have a working theory of warp drive and hyperspace travel, for example. So let's talk about lightsabers. Two possibilities. One is solid light, which is probably violates the laws of physics. But another one is plasma, that is very hot ions, which can slice right through steel. Now, in order to have plasma and not blow yourself up with the plasma, you have to encase the plasma in a force field. And at the present time, believe it or not, we physicists are clueless about how to create a force field. I can talk to you about warp drive, but we are clueless when we're coming to creating a force field that can contain a plasma. Okay, well, so don't hold your breath for lightsabers.
So I'm going to get one that's a toy. All right. Are speeder bikes, hover vehicles, something we're going to be able to take to work in the future?
Well, anti-gravity probably violates Einstein's theory of gravity. However, in the future, we do expect to have room temperature superconductors that may have magnetic fields 1,000,000 times the Earth's magnetic field. We already have maglev trains that levitate on magnetic fields. If we have magnets based on room temperature superconductors, that would give us a second industrial revolution. Think about that, 1,000,000 Gauss, 1,000,000 times the Earth's magnetic field, available almost for free. And that could happen perhaps in the coming decades.
Okay, well, I want to mention this. Could an entire planet be covered in a city like Coruscant or my hometown, Detroit? A lot of concrete in the Motor City. I want to see if we're getting there.
Well, believe it or not, even a type 1 civilization, a civilization perhaps 100, 200 years more advanced than ours, could begin to pave over most of their planet. Already on the Earth, we see gigantic cities like Mexico City and Beijing, where tremendous amounts of real estate have in fact been paved over. If you can solve the problem of obtaining oxygen gas, recycling the gases in the atmosphere, then it is conceivable that even for a type 1 civilization, a few centuries from now, we may be able to, in some sense, pave over an entire planet.
Okay, let's talk about weaponry. The Death Star and X-Wing fighters. Is it possible to have dogfights in space or the power to blow up a planet with a moon-sized space station?
Well, you're not going to believe this, but I was once offered a job to design hydrogen warheads. And in the process, I learned that the power of a hydrogen bomb and the power of a laser beam is essentially unlimited. If you were to stack hydrogen bomb after hydrogen bomb after hydrogen bomb, you could develop unlimited nuclear energy and pump that into a laser beam that could in fact blow up an entire planet. Now, we on the Earth don't design weapons like this because we don't need to. We have city busters already. We don't need to bust the Earth in half. However, believe it or not, it is within the realm of physics to develop a hydrogen bomb that could literally crack the entire Earth in half and develop laser beams of unlimited power.
Now, here's what I really want to know, because I'm sorry we're running out of time, but I don't have midi-chlorians in my blood. Can I have Jedi powers one day? I mean, the Buddhist monks have actually been able to display unbelievable concentration power. Is it possible to have Jedi-like powers?
If we have nanotechnology, we may be able to put microsensors in the brain, sensing our thought patterns, and then carrying out our wishes. At the present time, MRI scans cannot pick up our thoughts. We cannot read somebody's thoughts yet. But with nanotechnology and sensors, perhaps decades, centuries in the future, we may be able to read people's thoughts and then carry it out. Because there is a force that holds the galaxy together. We have something called dark energy, dark matter. You're not going to find it in your textbooks because this is very new in physics. But we know that most of the energy of the universe is invisible, and conceivably dark energy could be the force.
You know what? I got chills like Alec Guinness doing Obi-Wan. That was awesome. That was great. Doc, thanks so much for coming on our show and talking with us. The doctor has a great website at mkaku.org. Also, be sure to check out his new award-winning book, Parallel World.